I guess I'll make a little so y'all can see what I was on, what I be on, man. Oh, this is dope.
Today's kids will not understand how
Never
magical
seen
it was
this.
being a teen in the 90s and early 2000s.
Before we get
No
to what I was about to go
smartphones,
watch.
no instant notifications, no cameras recording every moment.
Game Boy.
Our lives were slower, messier, and freer. From messy bedrooms to crazy house parties, aim cryptic messages to jackass stunts, from split-screen gaming to wandering the streets until the streetlights came on. These are some of the moments that helped to shape us. And
It's
this is what it's really like to
incredible
grow up
that
as
the
a
time
teen
has
in the
gone by
last
so
generation that
fast.
had real freedom. We were the first generation to experience life before social media, and then suddenly it appeared. MySpace, Friendster, Bebo, and later Facebook. One day you had total freedom, and the next, your social life had rules, algorithms, and an audience. Growing up learning how to code in HTML to alter your MySpace page and choosing the 8 people in your MySpace friendship group was a big deal.
It was.
As was finding the right song for your Bebo homepage. The difference here was we only accessed this on a family computer, not from our smartphones.
Yeah.
It was our micro vacation from real life, but everything was discussed the next day at school, bringing it back to real life.
Yeah.
It was a strange transition from having complete freedom to learning how to navigate attention, privacy, and online identity. In the 90s and 2000s, house parties were a rite of passage. You'd pile into a friend's living room, dodging the parents, and set up beer pong with the iconic red cups. Music blasted from the stereo, and someone always had a mixtape or burned CD ready to go, and the energy was electric.
From the east side of Atlanta, and by the time I got in high school, all the house parties got shot up. They always got shot up. Always. It was always a shootout outside. Somebody. Always a fight. I got in a few of them fights myself. But definitely, it was definitely some.
The living room became a dance floor, the kitchen was a makeshift bar, and the backyard often turned into the wild zone for games or dares. There were no cameras, which meant all the dumb stuff we got to was only ever spoken about but never replayed. And some of these legendary stories still hold to this day.
Shout out to all my
No
Reader and
cameras,
Raiders.
no social media, just pure, unfiltered teen freedom. And that was until the parents arrived.
And my Lithonia Bulldogs, too.
If you grew up in the early 2000s, you probably watched Jackass and tried
Look at
some
this.
version of the stunts with your friends safely or not. From daring tricks on bikes, skateboards, or golf buggies to wild pranks and outrageous challenges. It was all about testing limits and getting a laugh. You didn't have to post it online, it was live, raw, and in the moment, and a test of teen testosterone. Those risky antics weren't just for adrenaline, they were bonding moments, a mix of chaos, creativity, and pure teenage rebellion. Aside from going to Blockbuster, our weekends meant sneaking out to random fields. We had music blasting from the boombox, friends everywhere passing around a bottle of MD 2020. We told our parents we were just staying at a mate's house when really we were camping out in a little field. We're living in our own little world. Laughing, dancing, first kisses, heartbreaks, and getting a little bit too wasted. All whilst making memories we still remember to this day. The FOMO was real the next week at school if you didn't make it on the night out.
Right.
Music defined us, and no, Mum, it wasn't just a phase. We memorised lyrics from CDs, burned mixes, and
I
waited
put
for
my album
MTV
on
premieres.
CDs and vinyl, too.
Walkmans and portable CD players were our constant companion until the anti-skip tech failed. Eminem had parents around the world in a frenzy, asking us not to listen to his music, and us kids, well, we just dyed our hair blonde and walked around with that Slim Shady attitude. Limp Bizkit had everybody rolling, and we didn't realise it back then, but punk rock music would have us in a chokehold for the rest of our lives. We purchased albums based upon one song and talked about the rare and random album tracks that nobody had heard unless you had access to them.
Once again, yeah, we didn't go to Sam Goodies, you know what I'm saying? We went to A1 on the corner spot, you know what I mean? On the east side, at least. I think on the west side, there was Big Oot Records. That's where cousin Kevin used to go. He used to always pop up. Like, he used to have everything early. All the CDs before they, I guess, because the artists were still from the hood around the way. And they'd take their shit up there. You know what I mean? I remember that's how I even first heard of Pastor Troy. It was 9th grade. So what? 9th grade was 1998. I started high school in 98. So I remember cousin Kevin. I went to his house before school started, and he had already had the CD, and we was just listening to it all summer. And he told me he had got it from Big Oomp Records. You know what I mean? It came up there or whatever. He used to always have everything like Skinny Pimp, all the Fly, all the Player Fly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Player Fly. If y'all don't know who that is, y'all need to go look that up. But yeah, so I ended up coming back to school and letting people hear it. I promise you, I was the first person that read and listening to Pastor Troy, and I put my partners on them. Next thing you know, everybody was listening to Troy, but I know I was the first one because there wasn't nobody else from the West Side, and I was going to get my stuff from the West Side. You know, like anyway. All right.
And you learned who you could trust when sharing that album.
Shout out to cousin Kev.
Although the Nokia 3210's battery was charged back in 1998 and still somehow today has 40% left, not all phones were this lucky. Some had batteries that were basically equivalent to the iPhone. If you forgot to charge them, it was tough luck. We either left our phones at home because we didn't bother
looking for them, you didn't really care.
To take them out, the battery died, and well, that was that. Parents couldn't text or track us, and if they tried to call us, all they got was silence or a busy signal. We learned patience, independence, and a bit of fear. Because if we were late home, there was no easy way to explain ourselves. The sense of separation and freedom made every afternoon outside feel like our own little world. One of the greatest things about the 90s and 2000s was having freedom without being recorded. We'd roam our neighborhoods, parks, and malls with friends completely offline. No one recorded us, and no one posted about it. Every adventure was ours alone. Climbing trees, riding bikes, skating down streets, sneaking into abandoned buildings, trolley racing, and trying to jump over streams. The lack of documentation made our freedom feel actually free. We didn't do things for the camera, for likes or followers. We did things for curiosity and to feel alive. When we returned home, usually at dusk when the streetlights flicked on, we felt accomplished, independent, and alive. And our parents had no idea what we were up to.
Sure.
Monday nights was sacred. Were you WWF or WCW? Fans didn't just watch, we lived every match. It wasn't just entertainment, it was culture. Everyone had their favourite wrestlers and debated moves and planned their evenings around the fights. To this day, the sound of shattered glass reminds of the Texas wrestling
Goldberg for the long.
And if we see a crow, well, we think of Sting. Today's kid's 6'7", and well, we got two words for that. Those 2 hours shaped our friendships, our rivalries, and even the way we talked about everything else in school the next day, let alone the Royal Rumbles we had in the classroom. Teen fashion was bold and iconic. We had starter jackets, popper pants, and a heap of colour. And the early 2000s saw the rise and eventual fall of Abercrombie & Fitch. Their hoodies, their baggy jeans, the dark lights and the smell was mesmerising. Girls wore Ugg boots and duty pants, whereas boys wore Von Dutch hats and goggles. Outfits weren't just clothes, they were statements. When we wanted to send a message, it wasn't as simple as tapping a screen. T9 texting meant pressing buttons multiple times just to type a single letter. One wrong tap, and then your text came out completely wrong, or took twice as long to fix. This was a skill, an art, and once you mastered, you would send a 160-character text message to feel like Mr. Miyagi. Sending a message until you reached the mastery level was slow, deliberate, and somehow made everything feel more meaningful. And the worst feeling was sending a message to your crush of your mum's phone, adding, "Don't reply back to this phone," and you hear the text sound go off. It was always so embarrassing. Our bedrooms were chaotic little worlds. We had posters on the wall which would fall down in the middle of the night, scaring the hell out of us.
It looked like Sonic
CDs
down
stacked
there
in piles,
on the
and the
TV.
lava lamp was always glowing. And the half-finished homework left unabandoned, well, the dog eventually ate that. We only often got sent to our rooms when we got in trouble, because staying inside was a punishment, not a reward.
Right.
One of the biggest differences from the 90s and 2000s to today's world is we were only online in front of the computer. We did not have internet access 24/7. Being on the internet meant sitting at the family computer, which was usually in your living room or your bedroom. We had to wait till nighttime if you wanted to look at, and often disconnected mid-download after you waited 20 hours for that file to download. We'd wait patiently while websites loaded line by line, and if the phone rang mid-session, well, chaos would erupt. That simple act, just getting online, felt like an adventure. We didn't scroll endlessly. We weren't constantly pinging reminders to check our social media or emails. We logged in, explored, and logged off. Every connection was deliberate. We had intent. And not giving the family computer a virus each session was seen as a success. Before
Yeah,
group chats
LimeWire,
and before
boy.
we got onto somebody's AIM buddy list, we had handwritten notes in class. We only had a little bit of space, so text time became really popular.
Hey,
Getting the home phone number of your crush
I
was
still
your
got
ultimate
some
until
more.
the teacher intercepted the notes and shared it with the class. It was always risky but worth it when you came out of the class unscathed with your victory.
right.
Every message felt
Right.
secret, deliberate, and fun. It wasn't just
I was
talking,
the
it was a game
master
of
of the
connection,
note,
patience,
right,
and
right.
creativity. That's how we stayed in touch
With
and
the
felt
good
part of our own
hair,
world,
right?
even without social media. Photos were rare, captured with disposable cameras or Polaroids, and that was only if your friend brought a chunky camera out with them. There was no added saturation or filters. Once taken, you took them to be developed and waited days or weeks to see the end result. 25 photos were always ruined with your finger over the camera lens,
Right.
but the ones which came out good, well, they were stuck in your lockers, on your wall or wardrobe, or even put into a photo album. Every laugh, every mistake, every minor disaster was completely unedited. You remember the moments, raw, unfiltered, and
Yeah.
completely yours.
Yeah, unfiltered.
AIM and MSN Messenger were the
For real,
battleground of teenage
unfiltered,
social
no
life.
filter.
Away messages were a work of art. Lyrics, cryptic quotes, or passive-aggressive messages aimed at one person. Just for when you got back online, people would ask if you're okay, for you to respond, yeah, I'm fine. Buddy list was social currency, and the typing bubble could make or break your day. It wasn't just chatting, it was strategy, it was performance, it was emotion, it was life. Being a teen in the 90s and 2000s was the greatest thing ever. It was about freedom, friendships, music, and experiences that weren't recorded or filtered. It was a time when life felt bigger, mistakes felt more meaningful, and every memory was yours alone. What's your first memory from your teenage years? Drop it in the comments, as I would love to hear your story.
That was a good video. Shout out to my 90s things. I don't subscribe or anything like that. It just popped up randomly in my feed, so I'm sure it'll probably pop up again. But y'all give it a like for sure if y'all do. There goes my like. We always make sure we get them likes, and y'all make sure y'all hit the like on mine too. If y'all had the nerve to pull up, at least you can come and do that for y'all, boy. Yeah, no. Maybe you can do that for y'all, boy. But no, that was really good. I've such a crazy feeling to see that time has went by that fast. Like, I would have never imagined what it is now. Like how social media is completely taking over life, or how we just are tied to our phones. People don't go outside. I got a vitamin D deficiency now because I don't go outside. Like, that's crazy. Man, I love outside. I'm a southerner. I love being out in nature, I just I'm always inside. I'm always working. My job is inside the building. Even when I'm in the studio and stuff like that, I'm inside, But either way, that was interesting. That was, it's kind of melancholy, because those days we'll never get those days back. Like, it'll never be where, unless phones go out, unless it's something crazy, we're forced to go back to that time, then it'll be no more. Then none won't matter. And even then, someone gonna have a camera. Somebody gonna have a camera shooting you in the woods. You don't even know it.